Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here coming at you with the 9th and final video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Bloodborne. Now at this point you should have gone through and cleared the Nightmare of Mensis, defeating Mikolash, Host of the Nightmare, and Murgo's Wet Nurse. Now at this point you should also have all 9 of your Hunter tools, and then you should also have 1/3 of umbilical cord. These are going to be important in terms of how to get all 3 endings of the game. Now, just like most of the FromSoft games, you can cheese all 3 endings if you have a certain setup, and that is just to be able to back up your save. Now, first and foremost, we're going to go over how to get all of the endings, and then the last thing that we have to do before actually completing the 3rd and final ending, or you can choose to back up your save however you choose, is going to be the chalice dungeons, as those are going to hold some of the last couple of trophies, mainly 2 in particular. Now, one of which I'll talk about now, and that is in regards to the blood gems. As you will see, some of these have a rating, and basically what you want is one that has a rating of 14 or higher. Now, that can be quite RNG dependent on how you do things. There are certain online chalice dungeons that you can use, as you can see, to get something of 14 or higher. Now the reason why you want to do that is that will get you a trophy in regards to actually obtaining one. Now depending on if you naturally obtain it or farm it, sometimes your character will actually have a reaction to obtaining such a high quality item. But whenever it comes to legitimately obtaining them, as there's only a few specific chalice dungeons that I know that actually have the opportunity to give you those, and I think it's any of the chalice dungeons that require a lot of materials or require some of the more later in-game materials. Those bosses will have the chance of dropping those better blood gems. But for now, the first half of this video is just going to be in regards to getting all of the endings of the game. So now, as you'll see, the nightmare should be on fire, and that should let you know that you are in the right section. So, from here you can now enter this little area here, as you can see, and Gehrman is awaiting us. Now, we have 3 endings to choose from, which I'm going to go over right now. Okay, so the first ending that you will be, or the first 2 endings that you have are going to be immediately presented to you. So when you go and talk to Gehrman, he will then give you the choice of freeing you from the dream, which will give you 1 ending if you accept his offer, and then the second ending is to where you reject his offer, and then you will have to fight Gehrman. Now, if you don't take all of these 1/3 of an umbilical cord, you will then get your second ending, and that is to where you take Gehrman's place. I know, sounds a bit idiotic, but it's a cycle. You gotta maintain it, just like every FromSoft game. Now, the 3rd and secret ending, I don't know if it's the true ending or whatever you want to take it as is, but the 3rd ending that you can unlock is for consuming 1/3 of umbilical cords, so all 3 that we have obtained in our playthrough, and then rejecting Gehrman. Now, upon doing so, will then cause you to fight the last secret boss of the game, the Moon Presence. Now, the Moon Presence is the one who controls the dream area here that we are in, and is a secret boss. Now, upon defeating the Moon Presence, you will then obtain the 3rd and secret ending. Now, I'm going to quickly go and show you guys what all 3 endings look like, and I'm also going to show you how you can get Gehrman's Scythe without having to go into New Game Plus. Because once you defeat Gehrman, you will get his badge, and that will allow you to buy his Scythe. But there's still one more weapon that we need to grab found in the Chalice Dungeons, which will be the second half of this video. And like I said, we're not going to be going into New Game Plus to do any of that stuff. It's all going to be found here at the end, which is why I highly recommend backing up your save, Or if you want to do the second half of this video first, which contains the chalice dungeons, then you can do that first and then come back to this first half. I just find to just run through the chalice dungeons a little bit easier to just go through than explaining how to get all the endings. But for now, just back up your save. Probably right here is a good spot. Go allow Gehrman to free you from the dream. That'll get you one ending. Refuse him, but don't consume any of the 1/3 of the umbilical cord. That'll get you ending number 2. And then the last and third ending is going to be consuming all 1/3 of the umbilical cords, and then fighting and defeating the moon presence. Now, for the sake of things, I'm probably just going to show those at the very end of this video. That way, it's just bonus extra content. But for now, I'm going to show you guys how you can obtain Gehrman's weapon and all of that good jazz. So, like I said, if you want to back up your save, you can. If not, you don't have to. So, consume all of these. Yes, having to scroll down is always so much fun. As you can see, they will give you 3 insight for consuming. Now, I'm just going to show you guys how you get the secret ending here. So now you'll be able to come and talk to Gehrman, fight him, and all of that good jazz. Alright, so now you can talk to Gehrman, and then you can, like I said, if you submit, that's one ending. If you refuse but don't consume the umbilical cords, that is the second. But we're going for ending number 3. Alright. Now we can fight Gehrman the First Hunter. Depending on things, he can be kind of a tougher boss. Sometimes his parry windows are not fun, as you'll see. After a certain point, he'll switch to his one-handed version of his weapon. Of course, I don't get the parry I want. Or, yep, of course, 2 back-to-back. Once he gets to this point, he then will be in phase 3. He'll now deal more damage. Oh no, I'm fisted. But just like that, Gehrman will go down. Now, after consuming 3 1/3 of an umbilical cord, we'll get his old hunter badge. We'll then be greeted by the moon presence. But because we've eaten all of the umbilical cords, we'll then be rejected by him and won't take Gehrman's place. This will now activate a hidden boss, but immediately use a bold hunter's mark. That way we can then get out of there and go back and buy Gehrman's weapon, and then proceed to the second half of this video. As you'll see, you can now buy the burial blade right here for 60,000. Kind of expensive, but that is going to be one more weapon down. So now we're going to move on to the second half of this video, and that is going to be pertaining to the chalice dungeons. Now, as of right now, you should have already have gone through and done at least the first two bosses of the first chalice dungeon. That's what allowed you to obtain the online chalice option to go do the blood farming chalice. But now we're just going to go through and I'm going to show you guys how to get all of the levers starting from the very beginning. So I'm actually going to just remove this and then show you guys step by step where to go to find the lever to activate the boss, and then just going like that. I'm not going to show you guys the actual bosses to save on time, just showing you guys where to go for each lever to get to the boss. Now, probably the most important thing I'm going to say is right now, and that is when you are going through the chalice dungeons, you are going to want to grab everything that you can in each one of these. The main reason is that you're going to be getting the next amount of materials needed for the next chalice dungeon that you get. So that'll come into a big factor later on. So just trust me on this. It's important to grab everything that you can. Now, it is very tedious and time consuming, and trust me, I know. Now, I will leave a link to a very long and detailed thread and video on going through the chalice dungeons that was discovered and made public way back after the game had first come out on how to go through the chalice dungeons in just the base game alone to help you guys out. Alright, so as you guys can see, I'm here in the ailing loran chalice. Now this is just after the first boss. So from here we're going to finally grab our final weapon of the game. Now this is going to be base game, no DLC required. So from the lantern in the boss room, as you'll see, you'll head down into layer 2. You'll come off to the side area. And it's basically a pretty straightforward path. Just run past everything. Now we'll climb up the ladder here. As you'll see from here, you can then head down here into the treasure room. And in this chest is the beast claw, as you'll see, and that should be the last and final weapon of Bloodborne, and that should get you a trophy. So now we're going to go back to going through the ailing loran chalice. Now the main thing from this chalice that you want to find is the bastard of loran. Now I do believe they have found here on layer 2. Now like I said, you just want to make sure that you're still fully exploring everything. I know it's tedious, but trust me, you are going to want to do that, as that will get you the most amount of crafting materials needed for each of these chalice dungeons. As you'll see, you'll get some ritual blood 5 here as well. But now we're going to head back on to just showing you guys where to find the levers and all of that good stuff for each area. And then we're almost done. I do believe we only have 2 more chalice dungeons to go through after going through the ailing loran. So just bear with me. Alright, so in this video, in the next clip, sorry, not video, in this clip and the next one, I'm going to be showing you guys where you can get 2 additional red jellies that you're going to need. They're found in the lower ailing loran chalice. So it'll be in layer 2 and layer 3 is where you'll find them, so you'll have to at least beat the first boss, which is a very easy first boss, especially for one of these kind of depths of a chalice dungeon. But basically, you're just going to follow this path I take up the ladder, going to come through this door here, follow this around. Now there should only be one enemy that you should have to fight. Run past that wolf, run out this door right here, and then immediately come and drop down here. If you turn around, you then be able to head down here into this room that has this guy here. But if you actually don't aggro him, you can come here off to the left, as you'll see right here, and you'll find your 3rd red jelly. Now we'll grab the next one in layer 3. Now remember, this is in the, I guess, central or lower. It's basically the ailing loran chalice that you get from the, I'll just find it here. Lower loran chalice. But now we're going to move on to layer 3. Alright, so from the abhorrent beast boss, the second one you'll probably have to fight after going through the chalice dungeons, you'll take the elevator down and follow the path that I take into this side area here off to the left, and we'll find our 4th and final red jelly that we need. Now, it is a bit of a run, but it's fine. So you're just going to head down, follow this around, come out here to the left, and then take an immediate left here into this little side path. Once here, you can turn right here, climb up this ladder, over here, and then you'll have to do the 4 axes. There you go, just like that. And then the red jelly will be up here just past this guy. There we go. And as you'll see just right here, now we can finally head into the last and final chalice dungeon. Once again, I'm just going to show you guys how to go through it, but I will show you guys how to fight the Yharnam Pthumerian Queen, which is why we're going through all of this trouble at the very end. Alright, so now we've finally made it all the way to the Yharnam Pthumerian Queen, as this should be either the last trophy you'll earn, or, like I said at the start of this video, you'll do this first, then do all 3 endings, whatever suits you. But now we're going to take on probably one of the most time-consuming bosses in a Souls game that you'll have to do in order to get a single trophy, but it is a gold trophy at least. So, like always, once you're ready, you can head inside and fight her. Now, at the start of this fight, she will not be that tough. Probably the most important thing about her is just her blood attacks and her explosives. As you'll see, she has this massive explosion. As you'll hear, the baby is crying, and that is a good indicator to get away. Like I said, when the baby is crying is when you want to not be attacking her, because that will consider you an enemy. As you'll see, you'll get stunned. After a certain point, she will summon clones. After a certain amount of time as well, she will then buff herself. Now, whenever she does this giant explosive attack, you basically just want to wait off on being around her, as if you are in the area, she will then, you'll take poison, rapid poison damage, I should say. Now, when she summons the clones, don't worry, as they only take a single bullet to deal with, or a single hit. As you'll see here, I have a summon. There we go. As you'll see, Phase 3 is probably the hardest. Like I said, as you'll see right there, I just got restrained. Now, it's best to try and take out her clones as fast as you can, because having these sneak up on you while you're trying to fight the main body is not fun. Like I said, when she does this attack, just back away, because all of that rain can cause rapid poisoning. It is kind of annoying. Now, one way to know that you're fighting the clone or the real one is based on how bloody the dress is, as you'll see. Let me give myself some more bullets. How I've always best found to do this is just to do 3 attacks, and then if you don't hear a baby crying, then you're good to continue. If you do hear a baby crying, then just simply back off. Like I said, when this is happening, just wait. Maybe 2 attacks just to be safe. You can also use the environment. Now she's just stalling. Like I said, you don't want to get caught by the baby attacking or stunning you. And you also don't want to get too feast. And there we go. Once defeated, that will get you your gold trophy. Like I said, if you had decided to do this first, then all you have left to do is get all 3 endings, which I go over at the start of this video. But if this is the last thing that you have to do, then congratulations, you now have the Platinum Trophy for Bloodborne. Like I always say, I'm Mr. Pilgrim. I do hope that these videos and guides are helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form. Now, one thing I will state now, and I'll also leave as a pinned comment, is the guide for the Chalice dungeons, as those can be a bit confusing, but just bear with me on that. But trust me, it is going to make sense, and it will probably be helpful to know some of the things in that I didn't cover. The main thing I didn't cover was just how to farm Ritual Blood 4. Now, you can farm that in one of the Chalice dungeons from the bag-wielding enemies that's normally found in the above world, who takes you to Yahar Ghul early on. But other than that, this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and I will see you all in the next Platinum Trophy Guide.
Are you cold? Oh, good hunter.